no, you don't, Peter Davidson. Besides, you're too late. I was here earlier. Oh, it's so great to be home. Dirty laundry and all.
It's good to see you. I was so worried about you.
Oh, she's fine now.
I was just trying to straighten up some stuff here.
Here, let me take
What
a
do you mean,
coat.
you were here earlier or what?
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry.
thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, Dave brought me over here to get some things, and then he took me back to his place, and he cooked me a great dinner. Well, since everybody is so happy to see me safe, the least you could do is acknowledge each other.
Peter?
Thank you. Thanks for rescuing her. I appreciate it.
Look, why don't I go into the kitchen and make us all a cup of coffee?
Oh, no, you don't. This is my house. Besides, you cater to me enough at your place.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure you all have a lot of catching up to do.
Peter,
Yeah.
look. Whether you admit it or not, one of these days, the relationship is going to get better between the two of you.
Maybe. No, it's true. Now, if it hadn't been for Courtney, we probably wouldn't even have escaped. I'm serious.
I thought I was in danger.
Hey, you know what? The really incredible thing was, when we were tied up there, you know what I did? I prayed for you and your safety.
Hey, that's a first for you in a long time, isn't it?
Well, I guess the old saying's true that there's no atheist in a foxhole, but I really thought I'd blown it.
Well, you didn't.
You know what else is amazing? That God can answer the prayer of a half-hearted kind of guy like me.
Oh, I guess he just still wants to keep me around for a little while.
Oh, sure he does. Somebody's got to do the laundry.
Yeah, somebody does.
Hey, you know what else? Even though Courtney's married, it's like nothing's changed between us.
But she is married, Peter, and you can't allow things to stay the same. It's not fair for either of you.
But what if she wasn't?
Now, what does a hypothetical question like that have to do with the reality of the situation?
It might not be so hypothetical. Yeah, listen, I've been doing a little bit of research here, and I found out that since Vaughn is impotent, there might be some legal grounds for an annulment for this marriage.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah, that's true. I talked to Mr. Webster about this. He said if the guy doesn't consummate the marriage, then it's as if they were never married.
Is this what you and Courtney were discussing while you were trying to find me in the Dar Salaam Bible?
Don't you see what I'm saying? If they were never married, there's a chance for her and me to get back together. I don't have to worry about any moral reservations.
Yeah, maybe. What about the financial reasons? I mean, after all, isn't that why Courtney decided to marry Vaughn in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yes, to help with her mother's care and to make sure that her father's business was solvent. Yes.
Well, then, doesn't that make any talk about annulment academic?
No, because now she sees that her love and happiness is more important. That's what her mother was trying to tell her all along. And it took these few weeks to let her see the truth. See, Vaughn sort of tricked her, and she made a mistake. Now, the way I see it, and this is what I think that since there is a chance for an annulment, it could be an act of God. Yeah. Hey.
God's half-hearted child is now presuming to know what divine intervention is?
I think it could be a possibility, yes.
Maybe it could be a possibility, but I would hesitate to call it that at this stage.
Why?
Because God doesn't take vows as lightly as people do. An annulment may possibly mean that Courtney's marriage never existed. But that is not what's important here, Peter. Look, Vaughn's impotence is a sickness. Now, even if it is psychological, it's still a type of illness. It needs treatment and care and understanding. Now, when Courtney recited her marriage vows, she said she was willing to stand by Vaughn in sickness or in health. Now, the reason those words are in the marriage vow is because everybody experiences sickness at some time in their life. And that's why at those times we may need the help of a mate to overcome.
But he lied when he said the vows.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, he knew he was impotent before they got married.
He was covering his own inadequacies. But that doesn't mean he didn't mean every word he said when he took those vows. Peter, look, you said an annulment might be divinely provided. But have you ever thought that maybe Courtney might be divinely provided to help Vaughn work through this illness?
No, come on.
Look, I'm not saying that's God's provision. I'm just asking you to consider it. Okay? I'll get it. Come on, Dave. You're all right. Yes, of course I'm all right. That's what Dave told you when he called you long distance.
I know, but I still had to see you. You look great.
Well, I've had some tender, loving care.
Very good, Terry.
Oh, Ben, thank you. Now, look, why didn't you two take my advice and just stay there and enjoy yourselves?
Well, those were my thoughts exactly.
No, because you are much more important than any vacation. And I want you to tell me from the beginning, first-hand account of everything that happened.
Hey, must be a drag to cut short a vacation, huh?
Well, you can't really cut short what you never started.
Yes.
Oh, you're here.
Hi, what are you doing
good.
here?
Listen, I tried to call you a couple of times. Nobody answered the phone. Was there...
Well, I know. I've been out location hunting almost all afternoon. And look, I'm hurrying as fast as I can. I'm rushing around trying to get home so I can get ready for our big date.
Well, that's why I came. We're not going to be able to have a big date tonight.
No big date, huh?
Listen, let me explain to you. Jean called me from the Chronicle. It appears that the Dar es Salaam Bible is now in the possession of a Reverend Guthrie.
Ione's pastor, that?
Yeah,
Reverend
that's the same guy. Ione's involved in this, too, as a matter of fact. She had a van that she was using for the church to collect contributions, and somebody put the Dar es Salaam Bible in the back of her van.
How on earth could that...
Well, that's because, okay, Lance has been involved in this thing from the beginning, right? He took Peter's car and he took the Bible, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
well, Peter, by coincidence, came by a gas station where Lance was. It's really crazy.
Okay.
Saw the car and stole the car again while Lance was inside. And he was supposed to be collecting stuff for Ione, clothes and everything for contributions. So what happened was, Ione came by Peter's place, got the stuff out of the car for the Reverend, and the Bible was in there. She thought that it was one of the contributions to the church, right?
Okay, maybe.
Well, yeah, and so everything is now at the Reverend. So the Bible is at the Reverend Guthrie's, you see?
Yeah.
And so Brubaker and Jean have called this meeting together to see if we can work out a strategy to get the Bible back.
Wait a minute, now why on earth do you need a strategy? Why don't Sergeant Brubaker and his men just get all together, go down and pick it
Sergeant
up?
Brubaker's been released from the case. He's been suspended temporarily. So what happens now is the State Department's been really upset with the way this thing has been handled, the publicity and everything with the Doreen trio. So the Kingsley police force has had to lay off. So we're all getting together to try to work out a strategy to get the Bible back before Lance does, you see? We don't have much time here.
Oh, okay, so I have a good idea. We probably don't need to break our date at all because we could have the most exciting evening we've ever had before, right?
All right, that's a serious matter, okay?
Well, I am serious. I want to go with you.
Well, you can't go with me. I care too much for you to get you in any kind of danger like this. Lance might be there.
And exactly how do you think I feel about you?
Well, that's different. That's something different, you understand? I mean, I have a certain responsibility to this Bible.
Wait a
I've
minute,
been
it's not different at all because you and I both know that Lance would be just as willing to kill me as you. And so if you don't want me to go, then I don't want you to
Now,
go.
listen to me, Mary. I have to go.
Okay, then I have to go too.
You're not being very reasonable with me.
Would you just listen to what I'm trying to say? You know that back in the beginning when you first came into my life, I was just terrified of you. And I condemned you, and I misjudged you. Long before I ever had the chance to get to know you, the wonderful man that you are. And now that I found that out, I don't want to risk losing you.
It's all right.
I must be in love with you. Otherwise, I'd never let you talk me into something that I know isn't right. I know you asked me not to do that until you gave me permission. I'm sorry I won't.
Don't apologize. 'Cause I think you probably asked my permission about 100 times with your eyes.
You're asking again. I think we better go to the Davidsons.
Wait.
Reverend Guthrie.
Oh, it's so good to see you again, Miss Wright.
Thank you. My photographer, his assistant.
This is Reverend Wood. Actually, he'll be preaching the sermon this evening.
Good. We'll have to include him in our photos, too.
Will you excuse me, please?
Sure. Now, Reverend Wood, I was wondering, before the crowds come, we could start taking pictures of some of the donations for the revival.
My pleasure.
I was thinking in particular, the old antiquated Bible that Reverend Guthrie told me about.
Oh, I'm truly sorry, Miss Wright. But that particular Bible is not here.
It's not here?
No. Why, we realized how valuable it was, so we had it moved to a safer place and locked up until tonight.
She looks great, doesn't she? Terry, you should have seen her when I found her in that deserted warehouse. She looked like she had been traumatized by one of those horror rides in an amusement park. But there wasn't anything amusing about it.
Lori and I appreciate everything you've done for her, Dave.
Well, after what she's done for me, it was nothing. Want some more coffee?
No, thank you.
Well, at least I know she's glad you're here.
Maybe. I just wish Lori would have listened to her. Dave, don't you know I would have come right back here if Terry had been in any kind of trouble or had really been hurt or anything?
Of course I know that.
Well, I tried to convince Lori of that, but she... Well, at least I got to see the Rockies from the air. As it turned out, we got to Vail, we walked across the airport, got right into another plane, turned around and came home.
I know that Terry wanted you to stay and enjoy yourselves, but truthfully, I'm glad you came back.
I'm sure you are. I guess you think I was pretty inconsiderate to leave you on such short notice.
Well, it did put me in quite a bind.
I'm sorry.
It's water under the bridge, partner. Let's just pick up where we left off.
I won't be able to do that, Dave. I've made a decision to accept another offer as a consultant with Southern Chemical in Dallas.
When did all this come about?
On the plane on the way out there, I had the offer before I left, and as we were flying out, we decided to take it.
We?
All the way out on the plane. Okay, all the way out on the plane, he just kept pestering me about accepting this job. And I didn't even want to go in the first place because I was so concerned about you. And then when I did get on the plane, it was like he was trying to bribe me with this trip so that I would say yes.
That doesn't sound like Ben.
Well, it was. You know, it's as if this friend of his, Brian, offered him the trip so that he could accept this job.
Why would Brian want Ben to join Southern Chemical in Dallas?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I could not stand the thought of staying nearly a week out there being pressured into making a decision.
So what did you do?
I agreed with him and said, let's go home.
No wonder my advice for the two of you to stay and enjoy yourselves fell on deaf ears.
Is this your official resignation, then?
No, I'll put it in writing first thing tomorrow morning at the office.
Well, I guess I should say I'm not surprised, but I am.
Dave, you know how uncomfortable I've been at that clinic.
I feel uncomfortable every time I think of the work that has to be done down there. But that doesn't alter the fact that this is the most important work that you and I could be doing.
I'm sorry, but I don't feel that way anymore.
I thought you were mature enough not to let your feelings get in the way of your work.
All right, you want rationalizations, huh? You want rationalizations instead of feelings? Here's a couple for you. I'll be able to better provide for my wife and my child. That's number one. Number two, this job is a stepping stone to bigger and better things.
Yes, and with each step you take, you're using less and less of the talent you were blessed with and getting further away from the work that you were called to do.
Why is it everybody seems to know what I was called to do except for me?
Because the clinic was your idea. It was your vision from the beginning.
Well, I have lost that vision. It's gone. I give it to you freely. You can take it and help someone else, maybe pull them out of the gutter the way Jeff Cummings pulled you out of the gutter. I'm sorry, Dave. You know, I really didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry.
It's just the way he says things sometimes. He's so blunt and insensitive. Mom, I want to support him. I know that he's going through a lot. But he's cutting me off. He won't even talk to me.
Honey, come on. Let's sit down. Remember the day you got married and we were up in your bedroom just before we went to the church?
Yeah.
Well, I told you then something that my mother told me. Marriage is a continually evolving relationship. Husbands and wives change, and we've got to be able to adapt to that or our marriages can't survive.
Yeah, well, physically, I mean, we're still doing pretty good, and we go to church every Sunday, and we pray every night before we go to bed like we always have. But, I don't know, it just seems like he really doesn't even want to do those things. Do you know what I mean? That's why I didn't want to fight him about this job in Dallas.
Then it was a good decision on your part. As long as you believe in your heart, it's the right thing to do. Do you?
There's no need to apologize, Ben. A lot of people were responsible for helping me out of the gutter. You were one of them, and I'll always be indebted to you no matter what you do.
Still, that was a cheap shot, and I'm very sorry. The clinic wouldn't be what it is today, Dave, without you. And I promise I'm not going to leave the clinic until it's properly staffed. In fact, I've already inquired at the hospital about expanding the list of physicians who are willing to donate their time there at the clinic.
That won't be necessary.
No, I want to help, I really do. And once the Dar es Salaam Bible's retrieved, you're going to have more money than you know what to do with.
If it's retrieved. You know, I don't mean to sound negative, but you know as well as I do that $1 million won't even begin to pay for the expansions of the facilities. That's not your problem anymore, is it? You know, your timing is perfect. The clinic is about to receive $1 million, and you're about to receive national publicity.
Why, is the AMA writing another article about me?
Oh, no, better than that. You're going to receive nationwide publicity. Now the masses will know who you are.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you had a visit from a reporter from Upbeat magazine. I think her name's Monica Evans.
Are you serious?
Oh, absolutely. She's popularizing you as something of a cross between Albert Schweitzer and Dr. Christian Barnard.
Upbeat magazine, huh? Well, just think, I'll be right up there in every supermarket, right at the checkout lane with all the other magazines.
Yes, well, that shouldn't be too bad for you, especially the way you're talking about stepping stones.
That makes us even now. Well, I really don't want anything to do with the Upbeat magazine. I mean, can you imagine this article? Some heartwarming article about my struggle stuck right there between some do-it-yourself psychology and some movie star's summer wardrobe.
Excuse me, you two. John Brubaker is here.
Oh, did he stop by to check up on you?
No, as a matter of fact, he came here with Jean and Ione, and he said that Harold Webster and Jeremy are coming over.
A welcoming home party. At least the evening's not a total loss.
No, I guess what it is everybody's going to discuss a plan to get to Reverend Guthrie. He's got the Dar es Salaam Bible at the revival Ione's church is hosting.
Well, that's just what we all need. Some more excitement.
Did he tell you about his decision to leave the clinic?
Yes.
Do you think there's any chance he's going to change his mind?
Well, I don't think so, Terry. And as much as I hate to see him leave, I know he's given this a lot of thought, and he won't change his mind. What does Lori think about it?
Well, she says that she accepts it. But I think it's going to be quite a while before she really does.
I think it's going to be quite a while before any of us do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sergeant Brubaker.
Yeah.
I've tried several times to get through to Reverend Guthrie, but I just can't seem to get through. I even tried to get to Reverend Woods, but he doesn't seem to be at the church or at home either.
Hey, Mrs. Redland, don't feel so bad. If I'd had any brains, I'd have taken the Bible out of my car when I found it.
Well, you know, Leon told me that I should thank you in person, and if I would have, we would have both discovered it. Instead, I was in such a rush, I just wrote that little note to you.
Look, either way, Lance is going to put two and two together. He's going to end up at that revival.
He knows the Bible was in my car.
Yeah, but does he know that Leon took it out again?
Yes. You know something? More importantly, this Janice Wright, she knows that Reverend Guthrie has the Bible. And she's over there now getting an interview.
Oh, shucks, I just hope he has the good sense to keep that Bible out of her hands, since she and the princess are one and the same.
It's true, Gabe.
Gene, I think we're going to have to keep that piece of information on ice for right now.
Oh, you don't have to worry. Reverend Guthrie isn't going to let anybody get near that Bible. I spoke to Brother Austin, and he said it's locked up because the Reverend wants to use it in a sermon.
Look, instead of just sitting here doing nothing, why don't we go down there and see if we can't find the Bible?
Absolutely, I think it's a good
And run the chance of somebody
Yeah.
getting shot with that crazy Lance running around with all that crowd of people?
For all those people, right.
I have to agree with Harold. Officially, I can't ask any of you to do anything. And I certainly don't want to endanger your lives.
So what we can do? We can stand around here like a bunch of idiots because our hands are tied?
No. We're going to get our acts together. That's what we're going to do. Now, that meeting is going to start in less than an hour. So I suggest that we come up with some kind of plan and fast.
Yeah.